Hi there, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting, and I've got this pop-up fun fold card. It's like a pop-up Z fold card. Um, Lisa Curcio gave me the inspiration for this. I love watching Lisa Curcio. She's a US demonstrator, and her tutorials are delivered with such passion and such enthusiasm. And whenever I watch her, I just instinctively just want to get my crafting materials out. So if this is the first time you've come across me, my name's Donna, and my channel is Taffy Crafting, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. So if this is the first time you come across me and you love all things crafting, especially paper crafting, then why not give this channel a subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Leaving a comment is great. It just all helps with traffic for us content creators. And I'd love to hear from you. And I want to show you how to make this. Now, if you've been watching me recently, you know that I'm getting more into making 5 by 7 inch cards. They're just bigger. You can do more with them. You can write bigger sentiments and things. And with this card, what I like about this, I've made this for somebody who, not that I've lost touch with them, but this last month I have kind of just not been in contact with them, and I just wanted to send them a card to say hello. I'm kind of sorry I haven't been in touch. And then for that type of card, I've just got then this white on the back here just to write a bit of a message. But that's what it looks like from the top. Folds flat into a card. Folds flat into an envelope. It is kind of quite a lot going on here, so you might want a padded envelope or maybe make a box for it, but it will fit into an envelope. You just need to be aware, especially in the UK, that if you're sending, because it is thicker, that you might need to pay more postage, which is a bit of bone of contention in the UK, in that they keep putting up the postage charges. So this has been using the floral paper, and I've completely forgotten the name of it, and I'm going to quickly find out for you. This is from this mini catalogue, and the mini catalogue and the annual catalogue are retiring at the end of this month, which is really sad. Time just goes so quickly, doesn't it? This is called Fancy Flora. I couldn't remember the name of it. Fancy Flora. Beautiful, beautiful colours in there. Just have a look at that. And that is teaming up Fresh Freesia, Orchid Oasis, Balmy Blue, Soft Succulent, Daffodil Delight and Calypso Coral. So that's what I used for that. I also used a bit of Sun Prints as well. Now, a lot of the paper that I've got left in my stash is 6 by 6, and when you're doing 5 by 7 cards, that doesn't fit. But I was very lucky that this Sun Prints Designer Series paper actually fitted in there. And for the card that I'm going to show you in a moment, and that's using some other 12 by 12 cards so that it fits. So you need to be mindful of that. If you're making 5 by 7 cards, then your 6 by 6 Designer Series paper might not be appropriate. So there's that. Now for this card that I'm going to make, I am using, I think it's called Regency Park. Now that's also in the mini catalogue on page 31, I think that says. Really pretty, lovely and floral. And that's using Petal Pink and Sweet Sorbet, which are featured in my card today. Mango Melody, which we are losing soon. Shaded Spruce, we're losing that soon as well. Balmy Blue and Night of Navy. So we are having a colour refresh coming up. I have ordered the new colours. We've got lots of new colours coming. I think it's something like 11 new colours, might even be more than that. So I'm really excited about that. I first joined Stampin' Up as they were having a colour refresh. So it's nice to be actually, be part of that. So I'm using the Regency Park paper, and I'm also using, I've done a lot of the stamping already and the cutting out just because, I know I've been talking for 4.5 minutes, but it makes it less boring to watch. Petal Park, and that goes with a punch that I've now gone and put down. Yeah, goes with the punch that I have put down somewhere. I'll find it in a moment. Oh, there it is. It goes with that. So when you stamp these, you can then punch them out in that quite easily. And then the other stamp set that I'm using is one of my favourites at the moment, Charming Sentiments. And both of these are carrying over into the new catalogue, as are the colours that I'm using here, Petal Pink, and this is Sweet Sorbet, which is one of the in colours for 2022-24. And I'm really looking forward to showing you the 2023-2025 in colours. They're gorgeous and they are right up my street. More muted tones. These are very bright that we have this year. The ones that are coming in are more muted. Anyway, let's put these to one side. I'm going to go through all of the measurements with you in a moment. I just need to make sure that I put these to one side and that I'm not going to lose them. So I'm using Regency Park Designer Series paper, and I'm also using the Country Floral Lane paper as well, just because it's 12 by 12 and it fits part of this card. Now, the other thing with this card, when you're chopping up your Designer Series paper, you do need to be careful if your Designer Series paper has direction to it. Now, this Regency Park doesn't. When I was using the floral paper, Fancy Floral, that doesn't either. But my Country Floral Lane has got direction to it, so you do need to be careful when you're chopping that up. So let's get my instructions close to hand so I give you the correct measurements. Now, there are a lot of measurements, and when I publish this video tutorial, I won't have all of the measurements in the description bar, but I will get them up as quickly as I can. I just wanted to make sure that I got the tutorial up. So if you want to, you could write them down as we go along. And I'll try not to make any errors. So this is a piece of card in Sweet Sorbet, and this measures 5 inches by 11 inches. And on the long side, you are going to score at 2 inches and at 4 inches. Nice and simple. So I'm just going to deal with this for now. I don't want to give you a whole ton of measurements for every single piece of card that we've got. I would rather just do bit by bit. So 5 inches by 11 inches, score at 2 and score at 4. And on the 4 inch, you're going to fold that inwards, and we really need to give our score lines a nice burnish. And then you fold this one back on itself. When I'm doing this, I'm trying to hide this casualty here. Lost it today. I've been getting my house ready for my parents to come and visit, and that nail went. And I hate doing tutorials when my nails look a mess. So sorry about that. So with this, here's the inside of our card. And what I'm going to do, I didn't realise just how much that Sweet Sorbet paired up with Petal Pink. I think it's lovely. And I've got a piece of, this is Country Floral Lane paper, and this measures 6 7/8 by 4 7/8. Now, while I've been downstairs having my dinner, I've left the top off my glue. We'll see how well this goes. Yeah, not well. I might need to get a bottle of glue out. I do it. Oh no, it's working. I do it every time. So for this, you don't have to use liquid glue. I prefer it when I'm matting and layering, but you might want to use dispenser adhesive, tear and tape, whatever you like really, whatever suits you. So that's the inside of my card. If you wanted to, you might want to layer up with cards and then a piece of DSP. As long as you bring it down by 1/8 of an inch each time, then that will fit quite nicely. It's however you want to do your layering. So now what I want to do is decorate these two panels. Now I'm decorating each of them exactly the same, but if you wanted to, you might want to put different designs on here. I was just trying to keep it simple. So I've got 2 pieces of that same Designer Series paper that I've got here, and these measure 1 7/8 by 4 7/8. and they fit in there like that. If you did want to use different designer series paper for each of these, then you can do. Oops. I've been reading through some of the comments that I've received on previous videos. I'm so grateful for people who leave a comment. You leave such lovely comments and I love your feedback. So thank you for that. I'm also on Instagram and I'm on Facebook as well. All you've got to do is look up Taffy Crafting and you'll see this is the last thing that I put on my page, and also on Instagram. I've putting reels on there, like time-lapse videos showing you how I make this, but really sped up. Right, so now I have two pieces. This is the Regency Park paper, and this measures 1 3/4 across by 4 3/4. And I'm going to fit those in there like that. This is a great project for scraps. Now, I don't have a problem with throwing away small bits of designer series paper, but I know some people absolutely hate throwing bits away, and there's no piece too small that can be stored in your stash. So if you like using up scraps and you like a scrappy project, this is a good one for that, apart from these great big pieces here, obviously. Now, also on the back of this paper, we've got this lovely petal pink polka dot design on the back of it. I just think these two colours go really well. When you first look at Sweet Sorbet, you think, oh, that's a really, it's red, but the fact that it teams up so nicely with petal pink, just shows that you've got that nice rich pink about it. So that's the kind of start of our card. Now what we're going to do next is to make the pop-ups. So I just want to burnish that a bit more. Now there are 3 parts to the pop-up. Got the biggest part, middle size, and then this small size. So let's get my biggest bit of card and put that to one side for a moment. Just do with each block at a time. So this measures 5.5 inches. I'm going to check that I've picked up the right piece of card because I'm surrounded by Sweet Sorbet card. So 5.5 inches, yep, by 3.25. Get your scoreboard back out or your paper trimmer. And we're going to score this at 1.5, 3.5 and 5. So a piece of cards that measures 3.25 by 5.5 and score it at 1.5, 3.5 and 5. And these are all going to be mountain folds. So look at it like this. There's your 1/2 inch. That acts as a tab that is going to stick this to the main part of the card. So make sure you've got this on the left hand side. No, actually on the right hand side, sorry, can't tell left and right. This bit, I'll say that again, the tab part is on the right hand side. This first left panel is going to attach to the card. This second panel from the left is going to be decorated. And we're going to decorate that. Firstly, we're going to do layering again. If you don't want to do layering, then that's absolutely fine. But this piece of designer series paper or card, if you want to use it, is 1 7/8 by 3 1/8. And make sure that your direction of your card is going, your paper rather, is going the right way. And then this measures 1 3/4 inches by 3 inches. So we'll put that to one side while that's drying. And then we want our next piece of card, and this measures 2.5 inches by 4.5 inches. And we're going to score that as well. And we're going to score this at 1 inch, 3 inches, and 4 inches. So more layering. So again, we've got this 1/2 inch tab here, and then you've got, I can't remember how much that was 1 inch there, and then we've got this 2 inch section in the middle. It's not quite the middle, is it? But that's where that's going to go. So make sure you've got that 1/2 inch section on the right, and then you are going to put your designer series paper, which is upside down. You're going to put your designer series paper or card, whatever you're using, on that second panel in from the left. And as I said, that measures 1 7/8. I didn't say, did I? Measures 1 7/8 by 2 3/8. Get that nice and central. And then another layer, and this measures 1 3/4 by 2 1/4. And then just fold these score lines upwards like that. And then the last one, this itty ditty bit, measures 3.5 inches by 1.5 inches. So this gets a little bit more awkward to score. And we're going to score at, see, awkward to score, 1/2 inch, 2.5 inches, and 3 inches. Now for this piece, we do have a 1/2 inch rectangle on either side. So you're going to make sure that you've got 1 tab on this side, and you've got 2 rectangles on this side, and it is the largest rectangle where you are going to put your designer series paper, like that. Okay, so that piece of paper measures 1 7/8 by 1 3/8. And then the last bit measures 1 3/4 by 1 1/4. Okay, so there are our 3 pieces that are going to make up our pop-up mechanism, and you're going to do the same with each of these using some tear and tape. So this is the biggest one, but you're going to do the same with all of them. And I'm going to run some tear and tape on that left-hand panel. You can put as much on here as you want. I could do one in the middle, I don't think it needs it. And then also one on that. Oh, I've just run out of tear and tape. So just looking at that, so we've got 2 on here on that first left panel. Then you've got your designer series paper or your patterned panel. Then you've got one that's blank, and then you're going to put some tear and tape on that last rectangle at the end, and you're going to do that with all of your panels, with all of your decorated sections. Now absolutely everything that I'm using today in this video is available in my shop. I'll leave a link to it in the description bar. Now, if you are from the UK, Ireland, Belgium, France, Germany, Austria, or the Netherlands, you're able to shop with me. I'm afraid if you're from any other country, then you can't. It would be impossible to do that. Now, if you want a digital copy of the new catalogue when that becomes available, all you need to do is drop me a line at taffycrafting@gmail.com, and I will send you. You do have to be in one of those 7 countries, but if you drop me an email, I can send that over to you. Now, this itty bitty one, you only need one piece there and one piece at the end. And I'm just folding all of those upwards like that. Now, let's get our card back. Now, one thing I'm going to do before I forget is put our panel on the back. I haven't put any other sentiment on there because my sentiment's going to be at the front. So normally when I'm making cards for people, I give them that choice as to what they want. Sometimes people want something quite romantic. Some people just want a plain, simple happy birthday. Other people might want something that's, a bigger verse. So I keep it blank until I set it on, or just leave it as a blank card. But if you wanted to, you could, and I might do this a little bit later, you might want to run some designer series paper there, or along on this side or on both sides. That's something that I might do, depending on how much of this I've got left. Okay, so now we're going to put this card together. So I'm going to start off with this biggest piece. And what really helps with this task is the Take Your Pick tool. So what's going to happen is that's going to stick there. This comes round, and then this edge bit here will then sit in there like that. And then that one sits next to that, and then that one sits next to that. And you might think, gosh, that looks a bit complicated, but actually it isn't. I've made 3 of these now, and it's not. Once you've done it once, and if you do it nice and slowly. So if you're doing this with me, so that's what you're looking at the moment. There's your tab on the right hand side, and then this, you've got your designer series paper, your patterned panel is the second panel in. So what we're going to do is line this up, not right on that score line, otherwise it won't close, but just literally a smidge this way to the right. So try and get that central. So when you're looking at that, you need equal space here and here. And then pull up your paper on those, on that tear and tape there. You can use wet glue if you like. So what I'm going to do now is fold this over like that. And then let that grab hold of that. So when we open that up, that now comes with it, which is what it's supposed to do. Now what we're going to do next, even though I've got to get my head around this, what we're going to do next is then take this off like that. So leave it like that. So you've got that there, and then you've got your panel, your glued panel here. Turn it around that way. And you're going to flip it over to keep everything nice and square. Press it down, and that will come up like that, and it makes a perfect, look at that, a perfect square. That's what, a rectangle, but you want your right angles there. And you might want to go in perhaps with the bone folder and just make sure that that's stuck right down. So that's that one. So as you can see, By doing that each time, you know that that's going to fold flat. It won't open up flat. It's not designed to do that, but it will fold flat, close flat rather. So we're going to do the same with this one. Just be nice and methodical with it. Don't rush. Step by step, checking as you go. So we're going to put this one here, making sure we've got equal distance on this top bit here and the bottom bit here, as exact as you can get it. If you want to get a ruler out, you go for it. So what I do, I just look to see if I've got the slightest sliver of paper behind it. I mean, literally, it's tiny. You don't want it butting right up because, again, you don't want to stop it from opening. So if you just see, I don't know if you can see that, there's literally the tiniest sliver of paper there. That's not even a 1/16 of an inch. And then I'm going to fold that over like that and push it down so that it attaches. And that's going to come up like that. Then we're going to, it does get a bit tight. You're going to fold that over there. So all you can see is the panel that's got nothing on it, and then our glued panel. And then you're going to, it does get a bit weird. You're then going to flap that over. Just take your time, and as you're moving your card, think, is this all going in the right place? And then push that down and bring it up. And now you've got 2 blocks. Honestly, when I first saw Lisa Curcio do this, I thought there's no chance I'm going to do this. I'm going to muck it up. And as I started to do it, I'll show you my first attempt. Now, I liked this because I was using the Fancy Floral. It was my choice of white cards that I absolutely hated. And I was using a piece of Designer Series paper that I'd cut down to 6x4, and I just hated it. It needed a less contrast, a smaller contrast of colour. So we've got that there. And then my other little piece. Now this is a little bit more awkward to deal with. So just make sure that you've got 2 clear panels here and 1 here with the tearing tape on it. Because it does now start to get a little bit tight, and you just got to not be frightened of it. You're in charge. Be methodical. So I'm just going to line this up here, making sure that I've got equal distance between the top and the top of this card and the top of my panel, and then the bottom of the card and the bottom of my panel, and just a sliver of, you can just see that petal pink paper behind it. Move that up a little bit, I think. That's it. And then I'm going to fold that bit over like that. That's attached onto there. I'm going to bring this over like that. I just want it like that, and then that's going to come over there like that. Like I say, it is tight. Just be very careful, one step at a time. Fold it all over and then let it just, sit there. That almost didn't work there. So when you push it all down, it should all be completely flat. Like that. I just think that's great. When you can see something that looks like it's got a mechanism to it, people think it's so clever, and you can look a little bit smug. Now, the way in which you decorate the rest of this card is completely up to you. I'll show you what I've done with mine. Let's just put that to one side. I started off with a piece of Very Vanilla. I didn't go white. I did think about going white because this is white. It's too stark for my liking. So I've got a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock, and this measures 1 7/8. It measures 1 7/8, by 4 3/8. And then I've got a piece of that Country Floral Lane, and that measures 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. And I'm just going to attach those. Now, if I was using 2 layers of card, I'd probably stick these together with mini stamping dimensionals. I'm not going to on this bit because the Designer Series paper won't really take them, I don't think. Sorry, I'm getting a new table soon, which will be so much less wobbly than this table. So we've got that there. And then what I've done, I've used the Charming Sentiments stamp set, and I've stamped in Sweet Sorbet, wishing you the happiest of birthdays. And I've got a piece of Sweet Sorbet paper, card rather, a very vanilla card. Now, what I actually did was I had a biggish piece of card, you know, a bit like this, and I stamped on it and I just cut round it. But it works out to be roughly, if you want the measurement of this, it's literally just under an inch. So you could do 1 inch by 3 1/8 inch perhaps. That's your very vanilla. And then your Sweet Sorbet is just a little bit bigger than that. So this is about 3 1/4. And that's actually just over an inch. I just made it slightly wider so that it fitted. So you can go along with whatever you think is best for that. But I think if you start off this with 1 inch by 3 inches and then do this 1 1/8 by 3 1/8, your sentiment should fit on there properly. Now I'm going to put that on there with some mini stamping dimensionals, and I've got to the end of this now. And so what I do is I start chopping up the sides. Waste not, want not. I've got a fresh pack somewhere which I've now gone and put down. So I'm just going to get some chunks of this on here. Now I would, just while I'm fiddling about with this, I would recommend that you cut out all of your card and paper first. Oh, I'm really mucking this up. Yeah, cut out all of your card and paper first. So you might want to do that, you know, watch this video through again if I haven't yet put the dimensions up. So I will do it as quickly as I can, but there are a lot of dimensions. And this is really sticky. Really sticky. Now, just while I'm doing this, what I did next to decorate this was get the Petal Park stamp set. And I stamped some flowers in Petal Pink, and then I put the outline in Sweet Sorbet. So let me show you on this. So I stamped this in Petal Pink, and then I stamped this straight over it in Sweet Sorbet. And then what I did, and I've just gone and stuck this to my table. And then what I did was punch them out using the punch. So I just did that ahead of time just to save a bit of time. So I'm going to put that on there like, that could be more even. Let's try that again. And these mini stamping dimensionals are so sticky. There we go. Now, this sits here like that. So it kind of attaches here, and then what you do with it is then entirely up to you. No, it doesn't go on there. Sorry, it goes on here. It goes on there like that. Let's get rid of that a minute. So that's going to sit on there. Now what I don't want is this harsh line here. I want to cover that up with these punched flowers, which are sitting under that punch. And then I'm also going to put some more flowers on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is stick these flowers on here, because I think probably my sentiment, just plan it out first where you want to put it. Yeah, I think I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there like that. So I am going to put this on first. I do like to keep changing my mind. And I've got some dimensionals somewhere that have walked off my desk. some more behind me. And this is when your card really starts to take shape, when you start layering and pulling up those layers with these foam dimensional hexagons. And we're going to put that right in the middle. Get it as central as you can. Like that. And then I'm going to put that on that corner there using a dimensional. You can use glue dots if you like, you can use liquid glue, tear and tape, but what I'm looking to do is get rid of that harsh line there. So I'm going to put that there like that. And then, just because I've got them right next to me, I'm also going to decorate these with these rhinestones. Give this card a little bit of bling. I've got another one on there. So these are the bigger flowers of the three, but they're all on one stamp. And I'm going to put that there. So I like the fact that it overlaps this bit here. And I'm going to put another rhinestone on there. Now what I want to do is just slip that in there like that. So the whole of that line is edge is completely covered. So this is when it gets a little bit tricky. So I'm just going to put that on there like that. I'm not going to put a rhinestone on this one, but what I'm going to do is just get this way round so it's easier. I just want to try and tuck that under there. Of course it's sticky and I think I'm not going to battle with it. I'm just going to put that there like that. And I will put a teeny weeny dimensional on it like that. And then I'm going to put another one of those there. No, two of those. I think one's gone missing. Never mind. Oh, I found it. There it is. It's shot off over there. I don't know if I'll use it yet. And also with these flowers, just pull the petals up a little bit. And I'm going to stick that on there. I don't want to cover up the sentiment. I think I'm going to pop that one there. I don't want too much, otherwise it just becomes too much. Remember, we've only really got two colours going on here. I'm just going to put that there like that. And I would recommend that you take your time in decorating that. I just feel that I need to just bling these. I think if you've done one, you've got to do all of them. Okay, almost done. Let's get our card back. Now what I'm going to do is put some dimensionals here and I'm going to stick that there like that. Now what we need to do is make sure that we get it central. Now you might think, oh, that's covering up a lot of that there, but to be honest, once it's open and sat on a shelf, if I can get my finger on there, once that's open and sat on a shelf, you can actually see all of that behind it. And it's up to you where you're going to place this. I think it needs to go right on the edge. So let's get some dimensionals on there. And I would really recommend taking your time decorating that panel. I'm not quite happy where my middle flower has gone there, but I can fiddle about with that a little bit later. Right, this video's taken far longer than I expected. If you are still with me, give me a shout in the comments and tell me that you've stuck it out to the end. Now I need to make sure that's a little bit too high. And I'm going to pop that there like that. And there is our finished card. Let's just raise this camera up a little bit, not too much, otherwise you'll see the devastation on my desk. So there you go. A pop-up Z-fold card with a panel on the back for you to be able to write on. That's flat enough for you to be able to write on it. You might want to do some more stamping on here if you wanted to, but I think there's enough going on that. Once you've opened it out, you can see those two panels. Once you close it up, it goes flat and go into an envelope. So once again, thank you ever so much for joining me today. I'm probably not going to be back for at least a week just because I have my parents visiting me and I'm going to be very busy entertaining them. So I will be back again probably in the next couple of weeks, and I will be able to start showing you some brand new things from our brand new catalogue. I can't wait for that. If you're not subscribed, maybe leave a subscription and ring the bell so that you're notified when I've got another video for you. I will see you all again very, very soon. Happy Easter. See you again soon. Bye-bye.